that would be because I did not have the button clicked. I'm so sorry. Okay, you guys. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to start from the top because I just did that entire thing and there was no audio. So hopefully you guys can hear me now. I did not realize I had my mute on. But hello, welcome. My name is Yonci. Welcome to my channel, Chasing Yonci. The reason I have that name for my channel is because for the past 6 years, I have been on a journey of self-discovery, and along the way, I have learned a lot of things about relationships and self-love specifically. So my job is to come back and report to you so that you can hopefully miss a lot of the pitfalls that I encountered along the way. I am on all the socials as Chasing Yonci, as you can see here, but I'm mostly active on Instagram. All right, good. It looks like you guys can hear. I apologize for those of you watching the replay. Hopefully you stuck around till we got the audio worked out. Drop your city and state if this is your first time. I see some new names on here. Good to have you guys. And you guys already know the drill. You hit the like button, so thank you so much. I didn't have to ask. But that lets YouTube know that this is the type of content that more people want to see, and they will push it out to a larger audience. So thank you for coming in and clicking that right at the top. But we're going to be talking about a couple of things today. If you guys are following me, let me know if you are already following me on my Instagram by just typing IG, and I will know, those of you watching, if you're on my IG. We got a Nashville. Oh, nice. Got family there. Let's see who else is listening. But yeah, so I was saying earlier before you guys could hear me, thank you for being on time. I saw those of you who do come and you wait a few minutes before I get started. That's awesome that you come in and you're prompt. Not only you're prompt, but you're early, which technically that's on time. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. Oh, perfect. She said she's following me on Instagram. So y'all know I was fired up this week. I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk about, and I get super, super triggered, especially if I feel like there is a party that is not being stood up for. That just really makes my blood boil. So y'all saw me. I was stressed this week a little bit. Okay, I was chomping at the bit, waiting for Sunday to come so I could get this stuff off my chest. So the first thing I'm going to start with is, oh, I forgot to say this because I'm having to repeat everything since I was silent for the first 2 minutes. Sorry about that. I'm really excited because there is a course that I am working on. I did a poll on Instagram asking which content you wanted me to work on first, and I gave you the options of information for single women who are looking for a relationship, or married women or women in relationships looking to better their relationship. And so it was an overwhelming vote for single women. So I'm going to do the single women's course first and then the relationship course second. But what I'm going to cover in there is self-love. Self-love, I feel, is the foundation for all other relationships being whole. And so I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover what to look for, when to know you should get away, the most important aspects to look for in a relationship. So we're going to be getting into all that. If you have not done so already, make sure you go to my Instagram. There is a question up there that says if you want to be notified first when I'm giving out information about the course, then put your email. Make sure you do that. And I'll remind you at the end, so you don't have to leave the show right now and go do it, but I'll remind you at the end to do that. Whoever is first is going to be the members of the live class, and then everyone else after that is going to be watching it on the replay. So it'll be a little bit of a different dynamic for the people who are there for the first time. So make sure if that's something that you want, you let me know and I'll make sure I send you the link first. First come, first serve. So that's that. And like I said, follow me everywhere on the socials. My Instagram is pretty much the most important one, so make sure you're there. All right. Has everyone given me their state? Oh, we got a Cali in the house. Nice. Oh, hey, D. Hey, girl. And Kentucky. Very nice. Okay, I love it. There's so many new viewers today, and I thank you guys for coming, even though I think it's football. Are we still in football season? I don't know sports. But I know there's some sort of sporting activity that happens on Sunday. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to start with the now infamous tweet by a gentleman named Cheyenne. I don't know if it's Cheyenne Bostock or Bostock. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. But apparently he did, his assistant did a retweet of something that I believe he said Ricky Smiley originally posted, okay? Because we saw the post go viral. Oh, very nice. Thank you, Stacy. And so what the post said was things that men find unattractive but are not going to tell their girl. And I wasn't shocked to see most of the items on the list, right? I was like, okay, weaves, most guys say they don't like them. Okay, long nails, fake eyelashes, okay, got it, no problem. But as we get to the list, all women were like, huh? Because they got to the part where it said, what is unattractive is a menstrual cycle. And we were just like, make it make sense. I don't understand. And what was so weird was that men were debating it in the comments. Like, duh, it's not attractive. Like, what man finds it attractive? And I kept saying, who is arguing if it is attractive? Like, that's like arguing and saying ice is cold. Like, okay, but you're just arguing something that is not even a category to be debated. So as I listened to the men try to defend their position, what I think they were trying to say was that there are a lot of men who are not okay with running red lights. That, to me, is a completely different statement, and it's a statement that a lot of women could wrap their brain around. A lot of women are bothered by their own cycle. Like, it's not a fun thing, like, whoa, it's here. Like, it's not something that all women like. There are women who are with men who run red lights comfortably, but the woman's not okay with it. So that would have been something that people could understand. So, guys, if you were one of the guys arguing for that post, you know, the validity of that post, let me tell you, if that's what you're trying to say, well, then say that then, okay? Because otherwise it just makes absolutely no sense. And men were, you know, the women were saying, well, that was something that women can't control, so that's ridiculous to talk about it. And some other men were trying to respond by saying, well, women talk about, you know, men with small members, so it's the same thing. I say all that's ridiculous. Why complain about something that somebody can't control? Just don't get with it. So hopefully that helps people to make sense, because I know I was triggered. I just need it to make sense. Stacy says, did you say running red lights? Yes. Y'all haven't heard that term before? Let me know if you've heard that term before. If you've heard the running red lights term. But yeah, it made absolutely no sense. And the other thing that I was trying to explain to the men was, usually when people do lists like that, it's constructive. Like, a woman who cares about what the other, you know, gender thinks is looking at the list and going, okay, let me keep this in mind. Okay, maybe I probably shouldn't do that. Okay, but then if you get to that line, it's like, so I stop menstruating? Like, I don't understand. So guys, you have to understand why that was so bizarre for women to see. And again, you should have just said, not all men are okay with having intercourse while she is, you know, during her time of the month. And apparently there are women who are shaming men who have a problem with it, saying that they must not be straight and what's wrong with them and all this stuff. Hey, I say to each your own, and I don't believe in shaming people who just want something different than I want. Yes, that is what I mean. Okay, so that was the first topic. I'm going backwards, but I want to get into this next one, okay? So those of you who follow me on Instagram, you guys have already seen my content, but I'm going to play it here for those who are on YouTube and maybe haven't. Oh, okay, so someone else said that they hadn't heard that term, but they knew what I was talking about. Okay, interesting. All right, so here's the audio you guys can hear.
And telling her about the whole, you know, getting a divorce thing.
Let me know if you guys can hear.
She said something to me 4 days ago that has stuck with me so hard, and I have dwelled on so hard for 4 days that I couldn't even really do much else with myself. And she said, most men do not marry for love. They marry for your ability to be a wife. And I didn't understand what she was saying when she initially said that. I couldn't grasp what the difference there was. And she said, they marry for your ability to take care of them, to feed them, to wash their clothes, to clean up after them, to provide them with a legacy, to help them grow. And it's not because they love you, it's because... So I had a long...
All right, so for those of you, I see the comment saying that it was kind of low, but I'll paraphrase. So what the woman said that her aunt told her, because the girl was getting a divorce, her aunt said, men don't marry for love, they marry for the things that they can do. Men marry women for the things that the woman can do for them, like cleaning, cooking, doing their laundry, having children, things like that. I want to know in the comments if you guys agree with that statement. Just type yes or no. It'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say. But this is my thought on this, right? I feel like that's a very human response to want something from your partner. There's obviously a reason why you want to be in a relationship, in addition to sheer feelings and emotions, right? So as women, and this is something that I think it's so important that both genders do, is to always try to put the shoe in the other foot so that we don't demonize the opposite sex. But I feel like just like a man sees the value in a woman being able to do those things, let's say if they're a traditional relationship, while he's out, earning the money, she could be holding down the fort. To me, that does not mean that he cannot also love her, because he could marry someone just randomly that was really, really good at doing those things. Stacy says, I'm sure it plays a part, but not solely. Anthony says, no, hire a maid, marry the woman. So it sounds like Anthony would be saying, no, he doesn't think that men are marrying for these items. I look at what women do, right? If we have the option of two different men, they're both identical in personality, looks, whatever, but one guy is a high income earner and the other one is working at a fast food restaurant making minimum wage, we're going to factor in the salary. So it plays a role. It plays a part if all other things are equal, right? The income and the other options play a part. I think that is natural to want to choose a partner that can better you in some way so that together you are stronger and you can have the most solid family union. I also caution people to look at the person's disposition when they're getting advice or listening to advice. Because if you heard the woman, she was saying that information just kind of took her out. Like it blew her away for a good week or so. And you don't know, I don't want to speak ill of this woman. I don't even know who she is. But you want to take into consideration the emotional state of her aunt. There are some people who are very bitter. And if you are going through a tough time in your relationship, that person might quick to say, oh, all men ain't ish, or all women are trifling. And you really have to be careful that you're not talking to somebody who is jaded in general about relationships, because that's something that I found myself doing when I would get hurt and I would be really disappointed. I would say, these universal statements. Oh, all guys are dogs. All guys are losers. Those people who have been following me for a while knew at the very beginning on this journey, when I wasn't even trying to be a content creator, I was just a chick out here trying to get answers in these Facebook streets. I'd be like, I'm done. All men are this. All men are that. And I used to always get checked by people who were like, no, sis, those are the people from your experience. And now that I've gotten older and wiser and I've had more and more experiences and I realize how much control I have in situations, the situations don't get that far without being on my radar. So now I'm not as bitter and jaded. I just say, oh, this particular person I dealt with, had some issues, but I now see that there are a lot of other people who don't have those issues. So I just say, be careful. Those who have come in, make sure you drop your city and state so I can shout you out. We are getting into it. All right, so we are two items in. I want to talk to you guys about, let's see, which one do I want to do next? Okay, we'll do this one next. All right, this is with Kevin Samuels. He has a caller who called in, and she is talking about how quickly men went to sleep with her. And I apologize, you guys. You guys said it wasn't that loud last time, but I'm going to put it up just and do the best that I can.
I also go on 3 dates a week, and they're always with different guys. And usually the guys want to sleep with me super soon, the first or second date. But after my experiences, I don't sleep with them, and then they just stop talking to me.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what do you ladies think? Guys are just a guy asks you out. He's basically asking you, "Do you want to have sex with me?" No guy wants to go out. Listen. Sit down. Pay attention.
Okay, so that's where I cut it off because I can't stand the disrespect. I don't mind having debate with somebody or, you know, a conversation, but there has to be respect. And she wasn't even cutting up because that's the excuse people usually give for him, saying that, well, the lady got crazy, whatever. But what I do not like about this particular person's conversation style is that it always comes down to sex. And one of the things that he talks about is once a woman is no longer a virgin, she basically should not be choosy. Like, she doesn't have, now granted, he's advising women who are saying they want high value men. But I want people to understand this. And I did a very passionate PSA on Instagram. Ladies, I don't care if you were a streetwalker, okay? Today's Wednesday and you were a streetwalker up until Tuesday. I don't care if you were an actual streetwalker. You have autonomy over your body. And if you decide on Thursday you don't want to have sex with someone, that is your prerogative and you should always exercise that. I was disgusted. I'm not even going to mince my words. I was disgusted by the comments that people were saying. I'll actually read one to you because it was made on a public place, so I'm not like blasting someone who was in my DM. Let me read this one. Sorry guys, I gotta scroll through to see. Here it is. Okay, it says a woman with a booty needs to accept that any man approaching wants the booty. It's just life. Unless you hide that booty, it'll be mostly what a man wants. It's life. Deal with it. It's like a man with money not knowing a woman is in with him for the money. It's stupid that women have who have nice bodies feel that man wants them for their intelligence. Pause. Stop living in Disneyland or Orlando and face reality. He said, sorry to say, Yonci, if you didn't have a nice body, most men will not subscribe to your channel. It's just life. Sorry, there's no punctuation. It's just life. Men are visual first. Any man that says otherwise is just lying to themselves. So you saying, why do men want us just for our bodies is stupid. We do want you only for your bodies. So I did a poll and I asked how many men agree with that statement. And 25% of the men said yes. They co-signed that horribly hideous statement. And fortunately, 75% said that they did not agree with that. By the way, guys, those of you who are in here who have not yet hit the like button, please jump out of the chat itself, click that little thumbs up, and then come on back in so YouTube knows I'm giving y'all the good stuff and they'll push it out to more people. All right. So, yeah, so that was just like out of control. I could not believe that. Now, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with somebody being exactly how old are these men? Exactly. Unfortunately, according to some of the profile pictures, they look like they're well old enough to know better. But here's the thing. I'm not naive to think that my personality is catching a man's eye from across the room. I'm not stupid. I understand that we are visual. I'm the same way. There could be a guy who's unattractive with a great personality, but I'm not even going to get to the personality if I don't find him attractive. So it's not that I am confused about that. What I was trying to explain to that guy who was arguing with me in the comment section was that that is the thing that draws you to the person. But that should not be the only thing that is redeeming about them. That just seems shallow. I don't even feel like I should honor such a low vibrating mindset to even, respond to that comment. It's wild to me. But unfortunately, there are men out there who don't see the soul of the woman. And I have literally had times over the past few years where I have been so disgusted by comments and conversations that I've heard with men who are very open, because I really encourage people to feel like they're safe so that they can speak. And so I'll respect somebody and let them speak, but I'm disgusted low key, right? And a lot of guys make it sound like they want a woman who is literally mute, like doesn't talk and just lets him have sex with her, whatever. That's a predator to me. Like, that's just wild. Who wants a non-consenting mute? Like, I don't understand it. He says we are visual, but That is shallow as hell. Please stay away from men like that. Yes, exactly. So that's the thing, all right? So I said in my video reaction on Instagram was that that lady dodged a bullet. She said that after 1 or 2, sometimes 3 dates, they were expecting sex. And when they didn't get it on the first and second date, I cannot stress it enough, first or second date, they bounced. Now, here's part of the stuff that I want to teach in the course, and I'm going to like beat this to the pulp when we have the session with the ladies. You have to understand that all attention is not created equal. Just because you have a man who is talking to you, giving you his time, giving you his attention, and thinks you're beautiful, that is not enough. You want to be able to vet him to see if he is motivated by you or he's motivated by a sexual urge. And again, there's no shame in the man being attracted to you. The problem is that if that is the only thing that makes him attracted to you. And that is why I'm an advocate of being a little bit old-fashioned when it comes to jumping in bed. And there's always going to be somebody who comes out of the woodwork saying, yes, but I knew this one girl who slept with a guy and had a relationship. That's fine. I know that, outliers exist. I know that nothing is 100%. But there are also rules of thumb, and I would not want to live my life for a 1 or 2% outcome, okay? The likelihood is not high. There are men who honestly think they like a woman, but once they get what they, want physically, they're out of there, all right? So as women, unfortunately, the burden lies on us to really wait it out as much as we can until we feel like there is something legitimately there, all right? Y'all can fight me on it, but that's my thought process and why. Okay, Stacy says, I think that KS, I'm not even say his name, gives the men that follow his rhetoric a license to be predators. I genuinely feel that way. When I first heard his stuff, I felt like a lot of women were being triggered and they weren't really listening to what he was saying, because the main message that I was hearing at the beginning was, hey, ladies, understand these are the things that attract a man. And I'm like, why would they be mad? If they want a man, why wouldn't they want to do the things that attract a man? But then when I started to hear the other stuff, it was gross. It was like no part of it was it valuing the woman for who she was. And again, I'm not saying there should be a woman who's horribly obese, who doesn't take care of herself and just looks a hot mess, and her personality should be what's shining through. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying in addition to teaching women what men are initially drawn to, why is nothing being spoken about their character? And it just feels as though women should be so grateful for these men with money that they should do whatever it takes. And they shouldn't be offended, or they shouldn't be surprised. Like he was saying that. Why would you be surprised? She's not surprised at the fact that the man wants to sleep with her. She's surprised by the fact that they were out of there with 1 or 2 dates. After only 1 or 2 dates. And this is the other thing I want to say, because there's always the guy that comes in saying, but we want something for what we paid for, okay? Which is cringy as it is, because that's very transactional. I'm not mad at it, okay? I'm not mad at it, because at the end of the day, relationships are transactional. Like, we all get something out of it, but if you're not a predator, you want to wait until the other person's comfortable. So I'll make this make sense. With women, a lot of times they want provision. But that would be ludicrous for a woman to come in on date 1 and 2 and say, you need to put me on your deed. You need to buy me a car. You need to pay my light bills. Some women do that, but that's still ludicrous. But that would be crazy. It takes time for a man to feel like you are worth him reaching into his wallet and starting to, pay for your lifestyle. Some men wait until marriage to do that. Some do it for girlfriends. Some wait till they're engaged. But the point is that she can want it all she wants, but she's not entitled to it. That's up to him. Same thing with the man. He's not entitled to her body just because he spent money. So I would say, if you're going to be bitter after a certain dollar amount spent with no booty, and if you're going to be bitter ladies giving up booty and not getting a relationship, then be careful with what you're bargaining with. Be careful. Don't spend something that you don't have to spend. So if that means holding off a little while before you spend big coins, hold off. Walk in the park, go to the beach, have a picnic, do a FaceTime virtual date. Ladies, don't go to his house. Don't go to his house. Don't go to his house. Don't go to his hotel. Don't get flued out and put in a hotel where he's going to be there too. Okay? Just don't do these things that put you in a state of obligation if you feel like you're going to be obligated. So I feel like I've harped enough on that particular one. But this is the last one. All right? This is the last one I want to get to, and then I'll answer any questions if you guys do have any. This might be a little early night tonight. I think the last one was a little early too. But the one where he is talking to the woman. Oh, let me play the audio, you guys. All right, so here's the last one.
Believe.
Okay.
Let's just say you believe me. Let's just say you believe me. And I said, ma'am, in order to find a husband, you need to drop down to about 140 pounds. And then after that, you can get married. Would you do it?
I would, but I'm gonna do it for myself. I do it.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, you need to do it for us and yourself. See, the instincts are wrong. Every other race of women does stuff to please their men. They say, I'm going to stay fit and thin because these men like it. Our women, I'm going to do it for me. That's why y'all are unmarried.
Wow.
All right, so that is the clip here. And y'all, I apologize if it's distracting, but my contact is really bothering me, so my eye is watering. So if you see tears come out, it's not because of Kevin, all right? It's because of my contact irritating me. D says, or you could just be upfront about what he expects sex. Exactly. And I say that there are some women who are okay with casual sex. He should just be upfront. If you ever have to use a sneak tactic to get what you want, that's when you know you're being shady. So just don't do it. All right, but getting to this last clip, all right, this is the one I was waiting to talk about. One of the things that I don't like is when people talk about an entire race when it comes to relationships and things like that, okay? I don't like that, especially when the black race, specifically black women, are being put down. Because if you think you can find something that other races do well, you could also find something that black women do well. So I don't like to put the other races on a pedestal and act like they just have everything resolved, because there are a lot of women who are passive aggressive and overly submissive, and they're having circles being run around them, and they are not being respected. All right, so they might not be giving the man grief, but they're not getting respected in return. So don't get me started on that. So let's just take the race thing out of the equation. But I will say that I do agree with Kevin about this mindset being problematic. I did a couple of posts and I said, if you were to change something small about yourself, knowing that your crush, your dream person would like you, what would you do? And I'm not talking about something major like reconstructive surgery or things like that. But most people said, oh, hell no, you know, he better like me for me, or she better like me for me. I would only do it for myself. I think that one of the biggest issues is that people go to the extreme. While it's good to have self-love and you should not, try to change who you are to accommodate somebody else or completely morph into someone that's not you, I do think that a lot of single people have a hard time having a partnership mindset. And if there's something that your partner really, really wants or really, really desires, you should be considering them in the motivation. It shouldn't only be something for me. Because take, for example, right? Let's take the big eyelashes. At the end of the day, if my husband or my boyfriend hated them, I would hope that I would at least consider maybe making him a little smaller. Maybe I had the really, really big snuffleupagus kind. Maybe he wasn't totally opposed, but maybe I consider and get singles, because singles look a lot more real, more natural. But this immediate no, because it's him asking, I do think that that is a problem. And I'm going to be doing a live stream on Wednesday with somebody who I really, really respect. It's going to be on Instagram. But we're going to be talking about the reason why a lot of men have a hard time being emotionally available to their partner. And there are a lot of things that women are doing subconsciously that is making that man retreat and not want to come out of his little turtle shell. And one of the things that I hear men say a lot, because I talk to men directly a lot, and I ask them, what is it that you are not getting from women? And when they're in a safe space, honey, they let it all out. And one of the things that they have said repeatedly, and these are people who don't even know each other, it's just consistent across the board. A lot of times they don't feel like their preferences are being validated. They don't think that their emotions are being validated. They don't think that their wishes are being validated. They feel like women see them as jokes. They just are these wallets. They are just resources being utilized. And just like women don't want to be used for their bodies, men don't want to be used for their wallets. They want to feel like if they say something, it's going to be taken into consideration. This attitude comes out with those posts like, hey, if you decide to chop all your hair off, are you going to ask your man first? And you're going to see a lot of women like, oh, hell no, this is my head. It's a rah, 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 rah. But turn the shoe around the other foot and have the scenario where if your man came home and he shaved his beard off, how would you feel? Those same women coming back talking about, oh, he better not. The hell he better not. And it's not cute. So you got to put yourself in the other person's shoes and say, would I like that? Just because you're working as a partner does not mean that you are putting yourself down or not having self-esteem. I think we get the self-esteem part totally mixed up when it's not even relevant. Stacy says, yes, I agree. Like, I would let my man know I wanted to cut my hair and see how he feels about it. She said, jinx. So, yeah, I think that, a lot of times there is this posture of, I don't need a man. No man's going to tell me what to do. And it's just so hard and it's not inviting. But then that woman wants that man to have that soft energy and see her that way in other instances. It's like, pick a lane, pick an energy, sis. Because you can't be all over the place. You can't be a soft place here and then this hard fixed structure there. So those are my 2 cents on that. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Like I said, this is going to be a short one. But I wanted to let you guys know, for those of you who didn't come in at the beginning, and I'm sorry, at the beginning, I had the mute button hit by accident, so I had a good 6 minutes of just silence. So I apologize to those who came in at the beginning and then bounced like, what's happening? But I did say this. For everybody who is on my email list when it drops, I'm going to be giving you guys the first shot at coming into my course that I'm going to be dropping for single women. The very first course, the very first session is going to be live, and then from there I'm going to have the replay available. But in this course, it's for single women. Married ladies, you're coming next. You're next on the course list. But for the single women, I'm going to go over self-love, because as I see a lot of the questions that are sent to me, and why I say anonymously, I know who they are, that I post anonymously, a lot of them would be resolved if the woman had the appropriate amount of self-love. I think that's a term people throw around all the time. And a lot of people, including me a couple years ago, didn't really know what that consisted of. It wasn't about self-esteem. Self-love is something totally different, in my opinion, than self-esteem and feeling confident. Because I think that you can be really confident, but not have a high level of self-love. So I'm going to be teaching that. I'm going to talk about the red flags that aren't so obvious that you need to look out for, and when you know it's time to leave the relationship. Okay, so you guys, my heart bleeds for my single sisters. I want you to enjoy your singleness. Okay, and singleness should be the time that you're having the best time of your life. And then it just gets added, you're just adding a partner to it, but it should not be a miserable time. Dating should not suck. You should feel so empowered and be loving it. So if you don't feel like that, if you're not excited about dating, if you're not having an awesome time when you're going out, you definitely need this course. So what I'm going to ask you to do when I get off of this live stream, go to my Instagram page, and in my story, it asks you for your email address. And that specifically is the group that's going to be sent the invitation for the course first. And it's first come, first serve. Once it fills up, I'm just going to cap it. You can do that or join my email list through the link in my bio. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you have not yet purchased my book, you could do so on my website. Just click the shop button or chasingyonci.com/shop. But this is my book, First Date 101. All the guys I talked to, there are over 1,000 men in my focus group, and I asked them, what are the things that absolutely make you cringe when you go on dates with women that you're instantly like, nah, I'm good. I don't care how cute she is. Nah. And I started to see a lot of consistent answers, and I compiled them into this book, First Date 101. It is a man's guide to dating a man. This is not my opinion. I just was a scribe and took down the notes from what the guy said. This will get your life together. And it was a game changer for me, getting the information and applying it to my own life. All right. So Make sure you grab that. It is in my store on my website. If anything, you guys can't find anything, you can reach me on any of the socials. I respond to all the questions that are asked that are relevant. Not if you ask like my shoe size. Okay, I might not answer that question. But any relevant information about where you can find videos or content or products, you guys can find that. All right. Thank you so much. I hope that everybody has smashed that like button. If you haven't hit subscribe, do so now so that YouTube will notify you every time I drop new content. I have pre-recorded content that drops on Tuesdays, and so look out for those every Tuesday. Those post at 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is 5 o'clock Eastern. And that's about it. Any questions before I go? I'm gonna take a look. I think that you guys were just making comments. I don't think that it was questions. Thank you, Stacy. Oh, let me know really quickly, how many of you are watching for the first time? I would like to see and shout out any first timers here. If it's your first time, I see the likes going up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I always like to keep them even with the number of viewers. But let me know if it's your first time. And if you guys ever have, oh, Stacy, thank you. And you're probably the most active in the comments. So shout out to you, girl. I appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, DM me on Instagram. Look at all these late people joining at the last second. We're about to wrap. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. I have started to post them. Oh, hey, friend. Thank you for watching. I didn't know it was your first time. Very nice. Hey, Keisha. And so if you have any questions that you want me to answer with a video reply, just DM me. And I will also let people chime in and give their 2 cents on there. So make sure you DM me. Hey, Sai. I know it's not your first time. I'm still going to shout you out. Okay, very nice. You guys are awesome. Y'all don't even know. I have so many things on the horizon. When your girl gets her coins up, okay? When I start getting my sponsors and things like that, I can start doing so much. This is not even scratching the surface of what I want to give to you guys. I want to do singles events. I want to do so many things because I understand what it's like out there in the dating world. I have a couple television shows that I would like to produce helping relationships. So y'all pray for me. And if you want to drop some coinage on my journey and help me along the way, you can become a patron through patreon.com/Yonci. All the links are down below, so don't try to, remember everything. It's there. Hey, Francis. I saw some of your shows after the fact, but it's the first time catching you live on YouTube. Yes, but you're always so supportive on Instagram and Facebook, so thank you so much. All right, guys, so that's it. I know I've said goodbye like 4 times, but I promise, I think that's really it. Until next time, tell someone that you love them.